Welcome, everyone, to the Brethren of the Morning Star YouTube channel. I'm your host, Magister Cankerworm. In this video, I want to do a brief review of Martin McGregor's The Fallen, Satanic Theory, Ethics, and Practice. In an opening statement of intent, Martin McGregor's The Fallen states that it is an attempt to, quote, codify a new ethos of theistic satanic practice, void of the miasma clouded around Abrahamic dogma. A theistic belief and practice architecture that remains relevant across cultural and even dimensional lines. A satanic philosophy built up from the foundation laid by names like LaVey and Aquino, but capable of conceptualizing a theistic worldview that doesn't have to be naive or pretentious. End quote. Viewers may be familiar with McGregor's earlier Paths to Satan, which, as the title suggests, examines the different forms of Satanism. This book makes a nice sequel to that work, moving deeper into satanic philosophy and ritual. The book is divided into two sections, which split the overall length of 172 pages. The first section, Theory, examines who Satan is and why someone would want to make him the center of their spiritual life. One of the unique choices in this book is that McGregor looks at Satan almost entirely through his origins in the Abrahamic traditions. Most of us in the theistic Satanist community connect Lucifer to various pagan deities. We acknowledge that the understanding of Satan evolved in Judaism and Christianity over time, but nevertheless assert that he existed prior to either religion. We would think of it as less of an evolution of his character and more of a gradual revealing of who he always was. McGregor sidesteps these pagan connections entirely, saying that he wants readers to be able to come to a fuller understanding of who Satan is on their own. As such, he sticks to the Abrahamic roots from which the title Satan arises. McGregor explains how Satan is variously understood and portrayed in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The section on Islam is where McGregor really brings something new to the table. There are any number of works that look at the devil through a Judeo-Christian lens, but his explanation of how Satan is less of a discrete entity in Islam and more of a mode of being was both fascinating and helpful. From establishing his villain credentials in the world's largest religions, McGregor asked the question, why would anyone want to worship such a figure? Exploring this question leads him to eventually identifying 4 principles that lay a foundational satanic ethos, namely the preservation of free will, personal responsibility, retribution, or justice if you prefer, and creativity. Why Satan, he asks, quote, why Satanism? Satan is and always has been the god of human will, of human choice and human ambition. And later down the page, only Satan will allow humanity to accept itself in all things, to own every aspect of existence, and to be truly proud of what it means to be human. End quote. The section on theory is rounded out by brief descriptions of daemons, how one should interact with them, along with explanations of other types of occult practices a Satanist can expect to be involved in. The second section of the book focuses on practice. Each chapter provides sample rituals for any number of types of spiritual work one might be interested in doing, from meditation to offerings to works of practical magic. Most of these chapters establish a basic template, which is then adapted for specific intentions. For instance, a basic meditation format that can be tweaked for the 4 elements of earth, water, air, and fire. Readers who are looking for a cookbook style of ritual direction will no doubt find this section helpful. Who is this book for? The Fallen is short and sweet. It could be read in a single day if someone were so inclined. Because of its brevity, it is more suitable for people who know nothing or very little about theistic Satanism. Paired with some other beginner works, such as Raven Souls at Satan's Altar or Brother Nemo's introductory work, it would lay an adequate foundation of the faith for those just starting the path. This book would also make a perfect suggestion to give to friends or family so that they can better understand what the religion is all about. It is informative without being overwhelming, which is precisely what a concerned or interested loved one probably needs. The other type of reader that might find The Fallen useful is someone whose spiritual practice is feeling dry. The practice section could give you several ideas to use or adapt to your own tastes, revitalizing a stale practice. I only have one criticism of any substance about this book. The subtitle is slightly misleading. When I read something claiming to be a book of satanic theory, ethics, and practice, I expect it to either be exhaustive or dense. This book isn't really either of those things. There's nothing wrong with that per se, but the subtitle gave me unrealistic expectations going in, which initially made me feel somewhat disappointed on the first read. Once I realigned those expectations, however, it was clear to me that this book could be helpful for some people. So that's my quick review of The Fallen. If you are new to theistic Satanism, this book is a solid choice for a primer or introduction to our religion. If you've been walking this path for a while and want to jazz things up, or are simply curious about how others practice, you might consider giving it a try as well. Thanks for watching, and infernal blessings.